Hi everybody, this video here is going to be an overview of the Route Builder screen. So basically just going over a little piece of this here and explaining what each part of this Route Builder does. This will be a longer video because there's really a lot of things that there are a lot of things that the Route Builder would do. And I'll be making specific videos on how to use different functions inside the Route Builder. Okay, so I'm going to start from the top up here. First, what we have up here is called a depot. Okay, now most companies are typically just one delivery depot, but let's say a company is a large company and has multiple distribution points. Well, each distribution point will have their own Route Builder screen to handle their own routes, but they can break off and see other people's routes, and they can also even go into order entry and change the fulfillment depot so another route depot can handle it. Okay, so right up here is a lock screen. Only one person can currently be inside the Route Builder screen at a time. So if I can click right here, the screen's locked. Okay, but if I click right here, now I'm in edit mode. Now, while I'm saying this right here, it's very important to understand, like, well, what happens if I try and open Route Builder again? So if I go over here and try and open my Route Builder again, we're going to get this screen to come up. So what this is saying is, hey, it's open by either somebody else or it's open on another tab. Right there. So I can either go in here and unlock it, hit finish, or just go over here and say, okay, manage function locks, and I'm going to remove that lock. Now I can get Route Builder on this screen. Okay, I'm going to go back in edit mode. Okay, so go over here, this obviously go to today, you got the calendar to go to whatever day you're going to work on your routing. You can actually print the routes out that you're working with. So by clicking right there, that just brought up a PDF file of the routes. If you want to go ahead and use these and actually hand out these run sheets. And these run sheets will actually give you all the route information and also give you some information on the load plans as well. Okay, over here we actually have a function that will download these routes into a format that can be uploaded into the Route4Me route optimization tool. So it's a way that they can pull up this report and put it right into their system, and it will tell you which way they would run that route. Okay. Moving over here is a publish routes option. This option right here is if we happen to make any type of changes to the routes, this is going to come up. Think of this like a send button to the handhelds. So as soon as I hit publish, the handhelds, any type of changes I made will be published to the handhelds. Right over here we got a clock, which is a refresh clock to auto refresh the screen, and this is the manual refresh button. Okay, so I kind of covered that top toolbar there. Let me get back in edit mode. Okay, so over here, these options right here will kind of expand and contract these different areas. So I can open up the folders or close them. This right here can actually send stops. Here's a search button. Sometimes this can become kind of helpful if you're trying to find a stop and you got tons of stops on your screen. You're trying to find, well, where is it at? So what if I typed in gas and go Fulton? It's going to tell me all the places that it's at. It's already on this route right here. You can actually see it over here. It's on routed Monday run stop number 1. It's in the scheduled filter for Wednesday and Friday, and it's in all locations. And I'll be going over the filters here in a minute. Okay. Over here we have add templates. Well, the add templates tool is a way of going ahead and uploading routes. So when I click on add templates here, in fact, we'll let it load up all the routes. Okay, so Monday's already there. Now let's just say I wanted to add one of Wednesday's template routes in to Monday. I could just click on that right there, add it in, and it will add that route right there. Okay, so what the templates does is it's going to take orders that are scheduled, and it's going to grab them from over here in the filters, specifically this filter right here, and move them into the route format that you like. Okay, which I'll be discussing more in other videos. Publish change. Okay. And obviously up here we can actually delete routes. I can add another route. I can check them off and I can delete them. Now if I happen to delete one of these routes right here, the route will go right back over into the filters on the left. So that entire route is gone, but it's back over here in the filter. Did not get rid of the stops. Tools. So there's different tools inside the system right here. We got a copy and complete routes. What this tool will do, this will actually take an entire route that you might have generated from a previous day and move it to today. So I can click right here and say, okay, listen, I need to move the entire route from a previous day and move it into today. So I just took the route from Sunday that was not done and moved it Sunday and moved it over to Monday. Okay. The reorder tool, the reorder route stops tool. What this tool will do here, and there'll be another video that kind of discusses this, is this video here will, this feature right here, you can take a zone of stops, which are all these names over here are zones, and you can order all the stops in that zone into a specific order. Okay, and then from there you can, with a click of this button right here, you can reorder the route stops into the order that you like. Obviously this, I don't have it going right now, but I will show that in another video. And then finally what we have here, and before I do this piece right here, I'm going to go over this right here. It's showing that there's missed stops, which I'll go over those. Now this stop right here, I'm going to delete it. Now that order is gone, but not necessarily. Okay, we can restore it. So if you happen to make a mistake by removing or canceling orders out of the system and you need to restore them, we have a tool for that. We can go to here to restore canceled orders. There's the order right there, and I'm going to restore it. Now what that did, it did not put it back on the route, but it put it back over here into the queue of stops that need to be done. Okay, great. All right, so going here on the right, I'm going to click on this one route right here. And you're over here on the right, we can see like, okay, when their certain route if somebody's logged in the route, we'll see what truck and driver's logged in the route. We can see here there's 8 stops in this route. We have more things down here. We have the location that I just clicked on. Clicking right here will take me right into it. We have the address, or the name, phone number, location notes. That's a delivery location notes that's in for that particular customer. We can edit them. Default order notes. We can edit the default order notes that come for that customer. The last delivery. We can see the last delivery and see any sales history on that particular stop, and any merchandiser history if there is any. This is the valid days that we're allowed to go make a delivery. Auto schedule. This is the current auto schedule that they're on, but let's say I want to change it. I can click right here. It'll take me right into our schedule manager, and we can adjust the schedule. Down here is the next delivery date. Go down further, and this is the actual order that we're talking about here. Now I can double click on this guy and see this. Okay, you can see right there, there's that fulfillment depot. Or I can click right here, take me right into it. Okay, and then I can go ahead and edit it, click on the order, get right into order maintenance, make changes. Down here, auto scheduled, no merchandisers. And right there, there's the notes on this particular order, but again, it's the same thing as just double clicking on it and seeing it right here. Okay, so that's down there. So now let's get over to the filters. This piece right here, obviously these are the routes in the middle. Okay, so these are the route names. I can double click on a route name and I can make a change to it. And I'll just say this is Tony's route for Monday. Okay, so that's one way right there. Or we can go up here and click on the route name up here too. And it gives them all. And change all the names. Okay, great. So now moving over here. We have, one piece I forgot to mention over here was the legend. We have all these different icons that might show up next to delivery locations. This is a legend that kind of tells you what all these icons mean. Okay, so now going to the filters. The scheduled through filter. Our Cool Runnings route cycle starts on a Sunday and ends on a Saturday. Okay, so these are the auto-scheduled stops that are between that Sunday and that Saturday. So when I open up one of these zones, that every stop is separated in their zones. If I open one of them up, you're going to see here, okay, we have Cleveland downtown, we have Wednesday stops, and we have Friday stops. Now you can see that they all have these icons. And this one here is an auto schedule. It's got a sensor on it. This one here has some delivery notes on it. This stop right here has ordered product on it. All discussed in this legend. Okay, but these are auto-created orders. So we set up a schedule. We'll set up a schedule in the schedule manager, and it just automatically creates the orders. Okay, and by using route templates, we can move those orders from here into here. Okay, so these are your auto schedule orders, and you could manually still, at the same time, click and drag and move multiple stops over. So for instance, I can just go ahead and drag this one in. I can create another route. I can hold down my control key and click a couple of them. I can click the first one, hold down my shift key, grab the last one and put that one over, all manually. Publish, send to the handhelds. We close those up. Okay, so the next filter we got is the orders filter. The orders filter is different. The orders filter is not auto-scheduled stops, but more manually created orders in the system. Okay, and I discussed in the order entry videos how to go about manually creating orders. You can do it directly from order entry right here, or you can go and pull them up directly from the all locations filter, which I'll go over in a second. Again, as the orders come in, they're all separated by their zones. Let's open them up. Okay, so these are the orders right here, and you can see the days that they're scheduled. But you can also see one up here that says previous. Now what this means is that is an order from last week's delivery cycle. Okay, so it's telling you, hey, this thing was not done from last week. So these are all open orders waiting for dispatch. So I'll just go in here, push that in, publish, that stop has been sent. Okay, the next one here has got missed stops. Now what missed stops represent are stops that were on routes that did not get completed. So if I change, we're on 9.2 right here. These particular stops here, you can see these are all stops that didn't get done. So if I go to a previous day, you're going to see a route here of stops not done. That is why they are on the missed stops filter, because they were not done on the previous day. So this is a really helpful tool for a company when the driver first shows up into work. They can actually take a look inside there and see that there's missed stops, see that there's stops that didn't get done by the drivers from the previous day, and they can research, well, why? But then they can redispatch. All they got to do is click and drag, and that stop is moved on to a new route. Okay, next one, future routed. Let me change this to Monday. There we go. So now, what does future routed represent? Okay, future routed represents, oh, by the way, let's go ahead and click on that and see what that is. Yeah, duplicate route stops. All right, so what future routed stops represent is stops that are on route for later in the week, okay, that you might want to push into an earlier route. So let's just say, for argument's sake, that I'm working on Monday's route, and I can see which stops he needs to do, and you know what, I need to bulk him up a little bit. Let's see if I can get him a few more stops. Well, I happen to know this guy here is working downtown in Cleveland. So I can say, okay, since he's over in that area, I'm going to, on his way back, since he's in that area, I'm going to open up my Collinwood area, and I'm going to pull some stops off of the Collinwood area for later in the week. Now, as soon as I publish this and change that, as soon as I go to that day, that Tuesday, that these stops are present, they're not going to be there anymore because I moved them to this route on Monday. Okay, this is a really, really helpful tool when you have a driver out there that's got extra ice on his truck. So if he's got that extra ice on his truck, you can take a look in the future routed stops and say, where can I send this guy? Well, they're all separated nice and neat by their zones. And you can use Route Vision, which I'll discuss in another video, on seeing them on a map. So you can kind of pick which ones you want to send it to. Okay. Overdue merchandisers. These are merchandisers that are past their expiration date that need to be picked up. Okay. So, and that's what this little icon represents. So if a driver could go out there, you could actually dispatch it onto his route, and he could go about getting out there and doing the merchandiser pickup on that particular location. Okay. Then we have service calls. Service calls is very similar orders, but service calls happen to be, you can see there's a little wrench on there, of things that service tech might need to go out and fix. So you could actually create a route specifically for service calls. And that driver can go out and actually make entries on that. There it is right there. And publish. And finally, what we have down here is what I like to call the catch-all. This is all locations. So these are all your route-enabled locations. So let me make sure you understand what that means. Any stop that's route enabled is in this list. So I'll go over here and click on it, and you can see right here that it's route enabled. That's why they're in the list. Now I tell people to put stops that you regularly route on a regular basis as route enabled. Okay, all the other ones that are strictly on a call lane, don't make them route enabled because you don't want them messing up this screen. You can any ones that are not route enabled, you can still do an order entry and they'll show up in this filter. But down here, this is a way that you can focus on what stops you route on a regular basis. And let's just say you have a guy out there that you want to quickly send to a stop. So you can easily just jump right into this filter here and say, you know what, I'm going to create a couple extra orders. I'm going to drag a few of these right on his route. I want him to go swing by and check on them. And as soon as I hit publish, that dispatch has been done. But understand that as soon as he dragged them from this area, they are now actual orders. So if I pull it out, it's going to fall right into this filter here. Because it is an actual order. Okay, so that's a very long video, but I like to make this video here because there's a lot of pieces of this Route Builder screen. And I'm going to be making a lot of videos on use of the Route Builder screen and explaining how the different tools work. Okay, but this is an overview of everything to let everybody know all the different things that are on the screen. Okay, so if anybody has any questions on the Route Builder, please contact Cool Running. Thanks.